Well, thank you very much. Shalom greetings to you all. Now, I hope you all had a great long weekend as the twin festivals of Canada Day and Independence Day were celebrated. There are times to take joy in just being you. It's spending great time with family, with friends, and with self. Don't forget, you got to spend time with yourself. And I'd like to send special thanks to all of you who let me know that you still want to continue receiving our emails. And it was great hearing from so many who let me know what an impact these may have for you. Some who I did not even know actually still listened or watched. And I will continue to do my best to provide you with new and interesting thoughts. And I wish I could thank you each individually. I appreciate your listening, your watching, your questions, your comments, your great support, and your love. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. Now, I also want to just remind you that coming up in just under 2 weeks, we're having our annual Walking Meditation Labyrinth journey. It's on the 18th of July. It's a chance to go within, to seek and to find answers, to learn to be mindful, to learn to enjoy the blessings of life. And it's during times of blessings that we learn to share our blessings with those less fortunate, with those who encounter difficulty and sadness. Those are the times that can take such a toll, whether due to illness, death, misfortune. Doesn't matter. So let's all send out healing, love, and goodwill to them and to everyone. For Victoria, for Phil, for Melissa, for you, for your spirits, for all in need of elevation, of healing, of renewal. The kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love you all send out. Believe me, it circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each and every one of you. Me, Sheberech. Avotenu Makor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength be blessed the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Bishop Baruch, let us all have our spirits renewed. Sherry, we're still thinking of you, getting ready for your surgery, we know, and we're all still praying, and we'll continue to do so. We all know that the renewal of spirit is a coming together of energy, and it's our coming together as friends, as a chavura, fellowship, joining to express our nature of kindness, of compassion, an energy of sharing of thoughts and feelings and hopes and dreams and wishes that unites us all coming together every week in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know physically, spiritually, psychically, to gather and share emotionally too, my friends. From Psalm 133, the Hine Tov, come together right now. Hine Tov U'Menai Shevet Ahim Gam Yachad Hine Tov U'Menai Shevet Ahim Gam Yachad. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. And that's what we all form, my friends, a community. So as a community, let us spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the entire world. Now this week, we read about balak. Now before we talk about it, I want you to notice when you read it just how much in common this particular story has with the Abraham story. There are incredible parallels. The numbers, the nature of the members of the retinue, the meeting with the angel, the blessing bestowed, and even the actual words. So I want you to notice just how incredibly similar it is. You may have to go back and read the Abraham story. And speaking of Abraham, I had the great fortune to see the wonderful disseminator of the Great American Songbook the other night. And of course, he did his own Ode to Abraham. God said to Abraham, kill me a son. Abe says, man, you must be putting me on. God said, no. Abe said, what? God said, you can do what you want, Abe, but next time you see me coming, you better run. Abe says, where do you want this killing done? God says, out on Highway 61. That was a great show. It was wonderful to see him again. Anyhow, friends, this week, one of the great Bible stories takes place, although it's not one normally talked about a lot. However, it's not only a great story, but an incredible example of ancient biblical poetry. And it is the only real comic relief in the Bible. It's an anomaly that stupefied and mystified great rabbis and scholars alike, so much so they put this event in the list of unexplainable things. That is the list of 10 things preordained by God at the time of creation. And I'm talking about the great seer Balaam and his talking donkey. So this is for you, pal. A horse is a horse. Of course. Of course. And no one can talk to a horse. Of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Now, we all know Ed had a lot to say, but only to Wilbur. Well, we all love talking animals. And in this story, it's the only talking animal, leaving out the mythological serpent in the garden story, because that's a whole different kind of thing. This is the only talking animal in the entire Bible. Now, in some translations, you read donkey. In some, she-ass. And in others, just ass. Well, the choice is yours. I guess it depends which translation you're reading. Although part of the humor comes from the translation you choose, of course, and probably in every era of man, maybe even more so today than ever before, we all know plenty of asses who have an awful lot to say. Well, this parsha, like Yitro or Jethro, is one of the very few named for a non-Israelite, and that alone tells you just how significant it is. Now, do not forget that Yitro was Moses' father-in-law, and he designed the judge system that Moses put in place and that ran throughout biblical history. He was also a priest of Midian. Now, Balak was king of Moab, and he allied himself with the Midianites to destroy the wandering Israelites during the Exodus. Okay, I hear you. How come Moses' father-in-law's people are now the enemy, whereas before they were the friends? And why did we honor Ruth, a Moabite, just a couple of weeks ago? Well, in all likelihood, this was probably inserted much later in Torah history, when changing alliances were the norm. But do not get caught up in trying to understand things we do not have all the facts for. What we do know is this is a real character. In fact, the Balaam is also the earliest person mentioned in the Bible who is also mentioned in an archaeological source. Okay, he's real, and we love real because then maybe a lot more of the Bible is real. And maybe even perhaps we're reading a true story. Hey, what about that? Anyhow, the Moabite Midianite elders had King Balak hire Balaam to curse the Israelites, to put a spell on them. When I look out my window, many sights to see. When I look in my window, so many different people to be, that it's strange. so strange. You've got to pick up every stitch. You've got to pick up every stitch. Oh, must be the season of the witch. Must be the season of the witch. Yeah. Must be the season of the witch. The great Donovan Leitch, probably the #1 witch song of all time. Well, they try and engage him, but he does not commit. In fact, he's going to refuse the job. But first he tells them he has to speak to God, and he uses the name of God. So he knows the name of God that God told Moses to use. He speaks to God and knows that God speaks to him. Friends, this is nothing short of incredible. That the Torah, a work that comes from Israel, pictures the Creator as communicating with a non-Israelite prophet as well as Israelites. Never forget, God was, God is, the God of all. And we get a beautiful reminder right here that the Torah begins with the story of the connection between God and all of the earth, and it does not lose that connection ever. And note what is about to transpire. Because like I said, watch the parallels. Remember the promise given in God's first words to Abraham. It's quite explicit. And I'll bless those who bless you, and those who affront you I'll curse. Well, you will soon see Balaam will bless Israel with the parallel words in Numbers 24:9. Those who bless you, he's blessed. Those who curse you, he's cursed. Now, before that happens, God speaks to Balaam. Numbers 22:12. And God said to Balaam, you shall not go with them. You shall not curse the people, because it is blessed. And he says he's only going to do what God tells him to do. Well, in fact, Balaam refuses 3 times to go with, Balak's employees. But almost immediately thereafter, God tells him to go, and then gets mad when he does in fact go. So it's really confusing, and this is actually considered one of the great unsolved enigmas of the Torah. God tells him not to go, then God tells him to go, and then he goes, and God gets mad because he's gone. And we have no idea as to, what really took place or where an editing error might have happened. Anyhow, Numbers 22:21. And Balaam got up in the morning, harnessed his ass, and went with the chiefs of Moab, and God's anger flared because he was going, right after God told him to go. Well, God was so angry that he sent an angel to stop him. And when you read this, you cannot help but notice the parallels to the Abraham-Isaac sacrifice story, the Akedah. You will see it with the events, the numbers, and the words. Numbers 22:23. And the ass saw the angel of God standing up in the road, and his sword drawn in his hand, and the ass turned from the road, went into a field. And Balaam hit the ass to turn her back to the road. Now, this is the first of 3 encounters with the angel, each in a more constrictive space with less room for Balaam and the ass to turn. And each time, perhaps in frustration, perhaps in anger, Balaam beats the donkey. And then the preordained moment. Numbers 22:28. And the Lord opened the ass's mouth, and she said to Balaam, what have I done to you that you've struck me these 3 times? And Balaam replies, okay, notice there's no shock or surprise that the animal talks. It's as if it were completely natural. Maybe they'd had prior discussions that we're not aware of, and maybe like Wilbur, only Balaam knew the animal talked. The banter between them continues, and this is where the humor comes. And we see that the professional seer was blind, while the donkey could see. And when Balaam could finally see, the angel says he'd have killed Balaam instead of the animal. The Lord's messenger said to him, for what did you strike your ass 3 times now? Look, I myself have come out as adversary, for the road plunged before me, and the ass saw me and swerved away these 3 times. Had she not swerved away from me, by now it is you I would have killed, while her I would have let live. Well, this story is biblical humor. And it's the only such piece in the Bible that's like it. And some people resist seeing humor in the Bible, as if being funny is contrary to the book's dignity. But I think that's a mistake, and I think their mistake is not that they value the Bible too much, but they value humor too little. Humor is such an essential part of human life that the Bible would be strange and incomplete without it. So thankfully, there is this one piece of humor here. Well, Balaam finally does, what he was sent to do. He goes to curse the people, but instead of cursing, he blesses Israel, not once, but 3 times, in some of the most beautiful of biblical poetry that you'll ever read, different from the prose of storytelling. Those who bless you, he's blessed. Those who curse you, he's cursed. Now, there's a series of lessons here. First and foremost, they're built around the theme of seeing. The seer was blind, the donkey, the stupid beast of burden could see. My friends, you never know who God will choose to talk to or through. If God can speak through a donkey, he can speak through anything and anyone. A person should always be attentive to the words of others, always listening for the voice of the Lord. Friends, God speaks to and through everything. We are all a part of creation, and we are all parts of a greater whole. We just don't always listen, and we certainly do not always see. We can also see that God alone controls human destiny. Man has no independent power to impose curses or blessings. Yes, the world is sacred, and so is everything in it, especially gratitude. Light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, all who live in the light, and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, an end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let us send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, good healing to all who need it. And please do. Learn to forgive, learn to love, open your hearts, and honor the relationships of your life. To those you love, that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy your journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn to be to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a great week, a week of love and light, a week of peace. Keep working on manifesting your years of freedom, your new life, with all the new opportunities you have. Remember, we do set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intentions are caveat. Our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. Really important things. You do have that knowledge of what is good and bad, so acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person that you might have wronged. Ask forgiveness. And do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you. As you learn to be forgiving and be compassionate in life. Do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It's always there for you. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It is always in front of you and always within reach. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and all of you. Now act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know in peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere. Now work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and your ability to be present in all circumstances. So make the most of your time in life. Recognize your ability to be a contagion of holiness, to touch and transform the lives around you. You are forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to absolutely everybody you meet. But make sure you listen to the messages that you get. Listen. Do you want to know a secret? Do you promise not to tell? Whoa, whoa, oh. Closer. Let me whisper in your ear. Say the words you long to hear. We all just got to listen. The words are there. Enjoy life. Spread the blessings you have been given and embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. The great lessons of life for us all. Be there for someone because someone's always going to be there for you, whether you know it or not. Be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind, and be loving, and be listening. Until next time, Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.